Hello, YouTube. This is swtorPaladin, and I wanted to do a top 10 video. Don't know if many of you noticed. I didn't even notice, honestly. Thankfully, one of my subscribers told me. I basically hit 1,000 videos, and just happened to coincide with me wanting to do a top 10 video. So I figured, in appreciation for everybody sitting through me for 1,000 videos, and because I love Star Wars so much, and you guys love Star Wars so much, it was time for a top 10 video. Do 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 do. Yay. So, this is Star Wars Paladin's top 10 Star Wars adventure video games. So, this is adventure games only, no mini games. Sorry, fans of pinball games, Angry Birds, and Tiny Death Stars, and Starfighter games in beta with no campaign. I plan on doing many more future top 10s, Star Wars top 10s, if this top 10 ends up being successful. So this isn't a popularity contest. I know there's lots of popular Star Wars games. These are my personal favorite ones. So let's get started. Star Wars Clone Wars Republic Heroes. A lot of you are saying, "Oh, what the hell? That game is terrible." It is terrible. But I like terrible games. So the Jedi missions are horrible. I've even read many people calling them nauseating, which, yeah, they are. It's basically Skywalker and Ahsoka, but hopping around doing Clone Wars stuff. But it's really, really, really bad. But there's no, when you die, it's not a big deal. So you gotta sludge through it. But then it gets to these trooper missions, which are kind of two-stick shooters, and those are a lot of fun. I wish they had made a whole game that was nothing but that troopers running and gunning with two sticks. I don't know if you've ever played like Robotron or whatever. It's really fun. This was only like $2, so hey, I can't complain. Number 9, Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. I'm sure many of you thought, this would be on a top 10 list. It's only obvious. It's all 6 Star Wars games, Lego Star Wars games. It's really good. It's really funny. It's got that Legos humor. But man, page after page after page of people complaining about the save system. This is not a game for casual gamers. If you're playing in story mode, you need to set a serious amount of time down, because some of these missions can be long, and then some are short, and the first mission on the first episode is actually like really long, and it's frustrating. So there's no save for quite a while. So the cinematics are fantastic, especially if you get a newer version of the game. If you get the older versions, it's not going to be quite as good, but every time they re-release this, they did a lot better job. So this is a very, very fun game. Save system's terrible, though. Number 8, Star Wars Assault Team. Yes, you're going, what? Star Wars Assault Team? I thought you hated that game. This is actually a really good game. I've been playing it. I've probably put 10 hours into it. I don't know. I call it an on-rails card battle collector RPG, because that's basically what it is. It's fun. It's fun to collect all your favorite characters. I wish there were more, but there are a lot, and now I understand with Disney owning this, that some of the characters that I liked are now not canon, and so there's probably not going to be cards for them. But whatever. There's a lot of characters, though, and there is a story, so it is an adventure. It's just like a card battle adventure. The story's pretty bad, though, but you'll be laughing through the whole thing. And there's actually PvP too, which is crazy. It's offline PvP, so you're battling other people's card decks. Yeah. Star Wars Assault Team on your mobile phone. By the way, this is free, so yeah, no reason to not go pick it up if you've got a remotely current phone Windows. I said iOS on there, but I realized it's probably I don't know, the iTunes store, but I'm calling them by operating system. Anyway, blah blah blah. 7, Star Wars 4 and 5. I love these games. They're as hard as hell as you can expect from a Nintendo game. The first one, Star Wars. I played this game so much. It was one of my favorite games to rent as a kid. Yes, rent. Never did beat it, honestly. It's too hard. I've seen playthroughs of people beating it, but man, oh man, oh man. And then I wanted to share like my favorite moment of the game. You go unlock Han Solo for the first time. It plays this absolutely epic music, and he's got just a huge blaster pistol, and it's awesome. These games are very, 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 very good. Super Star Wars 4, 5, and 6, along when they were making Star Wars 5 for the Nintendo. That's right when the Super Nintendo stuff was coming out. That's why there wasn't a Star Wars 6 for the Nintendo, but they did for the Super Nintendo. They called it Super Star Wars because everything on the Super Nintendo had Super in front of it, which is fine. That's how all Nintendo's conventions for all their games are. So Super Star Wars, Super Empire, and Super Jedi. Very, 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 very good games. These are some of the most highly rated Star Wars games, in my opinion, ever. These are very good. Very highly enjoyable. It's basically takes Star Wars 4 and 5 from the Nintendo, and it's not like a copy paste. They're totally new adventures, but man, huge boss battles, awesome music, great frame rate, just everything. But there's mode 7 areas, which is kind of like they did that with some of their Super Nintendo games. They threw in some of their new whiz bang tech, and it's not bad. It's like the closest you could get to 3D back then. I don't know. Number 5, Rogue Squadron ish. I put all 3 of these on here, and you're like, oh no, you can't do that. Bah, bah, bah. Well, I played pretty much all 3 of these games interchangeably. All 3 of these games are really, really, really good. I say all the time, like, I can't play or watch Star Wars 1 without having to go back and play Battle for Naboo afterwards. This game is so good. And both of these are just amazing games, Rogue Squadron and Rogue Leader. So, highly, highly recommend it. I saw that Battle for Naboo was available for the PC also, but I'm not sure. I don't understand how LucasArts released some of these for the PC, but they did on some of them. I don't know why or how, but very, very good. It's basically the whole entire Star Wars universe, but just from vehicles. And boy, are there a lot of vehicles to choose from. Pretty much every vehicle you could ever want, you could hop in and do the missions. It's very fun. Shadows of the Empire, number 4. For the N64 and PC, this game introduced Dash Rendar, which is my favorite smuggler of all time. Sorry. Cat juggling. And Dash Rendar does awesome things. He does what no ordinary smuggler would do, I guess. He's not afraid to get into the thick of it. He's not like a mercenary. He's more kind of like what you'd expect from maybe a bodyguard, or not so much like a bounty hunter, but maybe like search and rescue sort of a thing. He gets his hands dirty, but he's not, he's not a bounty hunter or a mercenary. So, if George Lucas hadn't retconned it and made it all non-canon, this would have taken place between episodes 5 and 6. The story is amazing. There's also a novel, and it's amazing. There's a whole franchise. Sorry, cat. I even have his little action figure up here because he's just awesome. There's several really good comic books about Desh Rendar and his adventures after Shadows of the Empire, and there's also another really good novel that takes place. But this is the game to everything that started Dash Rendar. Very, very, very good. Oh yeah, the PC version. If you're gonna play this, definitely get the PC version. It is vastly improved over the N64 version. But obviously, when I was a kid, I didn't. I think I just barely even had a PC when this came out, and I know that my PC wouldn't have ran this. So, but now if you want to play it, there you go. Force Unleashed 1 and 2, you're like, I know those games suck. Well, no, man. Force Unleashed, I've played through both of these 3-4 times. So much fun. I can't say enough good things about these games. Yes, they're hard. Yes, there's a learning curve. Yes, there's defects and stuff, but you know what? You can't get a better Star Wars experience on the console for beating the crap out of things with your lightsaber and lightning and stuff. It's just, you're literally a supercharged Jedi or Sith, whatever it is you want to play. There's also amazing novels that go with both of these, if you can find the novels for sale. These would have taken place between episodes 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 if Idiot hadn't screwed everything up and retconned everything. So, this is one of my favorite characters of all time. Super powerful, unapologetic, a really, really good Star Wars character. 2, I canceled number 2 and decided to put a bunch of canceled games for number 2. Star Wars 1313, which, unfortunately got canceled. This was shaping up to be an absolutely amazing game. There's some really good footage online. It's just like, just watching the footage just makes you pissed off at George Lucas and Disney and all that. I mean, it looks like it was going to be an amazing game. Darth Maul, same thing. There was going to be a Darth Maul game. There's a bunch of footage of that online too. That basically looked like it was going to be Force Unleashed, but with Darth Maul, except even better than Force Unleashed. Just looked like an amazing game. Just devastated. And then Clone Wars Adventures. You're like, oh, those are mini games. Yeah, they're mini games, but you link them all together, and it's an adventure. It's just an adventure that you're either playing with turrets and towers, or it's an adventure that you're playing just in a starfighter. And this was canceled back in March, and they didn't tell anybody. And I never got to finish my videos on it. Nobody seemed to care. I was only doing the videos just for myself, because that way I could watch it someday if I wanted. But I didn't get to finish. I wanted to. They had added like one level to Republic Defender, and I just put it off. I didn't think they'd cancel it, but they did. Bam! Just dropped the axe. I thought it was going to be safe, cause Sony had it, and I remember talking about that. I thought it was going to be safe, but no, the axe got frickin' dropped on it without telling anybody, and it really makes me mad, because this is now the 3rd or 4th game now that I found out that I've played in the past that's gotten canceled, and I'm so sick of games that I play and buy and enjoy getting canceled. That's like the future. That's the future that we have to look forward to. If you can't buy something on a disc that is non-DRM, just expect that you're not going to be able to play the game anymore. Clone Wars Adventures was really fun. I can't stress that enough. So these are unfortunately canceled games. I wanted to put Force Unleashed 3 on here, but Force Unleashed 3 technically wasn't canceled. It just never got into production. The guy that does Starkiller, Sam, said he wanted to do a part 3, but obviously Disney took over and is focusing on their movie and their other franchises. So at least Battlefield 3 is still coming out, right? So anyway, but unfortunately we lost Darth Maul in 1313. Well, 1313, it's been development's been halted and they didn't renew the copyrights or whatever. I mean, it could come up someday, but honestly, I mean, what, 2, 3, 4 years from now? I hope it does come out, but anyway. Honorable mentions. You're like, no. I have to reference these because even though I'm sure these are all great games and I've seen videos on all these games, I have not played them. And since I have not played them, I don't know where they would fall on my list. I know a lot of my friends love KOTOR. I just can't get into it. I think the controls are a little funny for me, but it looks like an amazing game. SWG, I never got to play SWG, and I'm kicking myself. I wanted to play it so bad. I wanted to play a creature handler, and just never got to it. Battlefront 1 and 2, I used to watch my friend play it all the time, and I never picked it up. And Republic Commando, which is probably the one I'll play the most out of all these, honestly, because Republic Commando just looks awesome. But no, unfortunately, sorry, I don't know where these would fall on the list because I haven't played them. But in Jedi Knight 2 and Jedi Academy, those both look like very, very, very good games in their own right. Just never played them, and I don't know. Watching Academy, it just didn't look as responsive and clean as I would have liked, but it still looked really fun. But I couldn't find a walkthrough where somebody really did it justice, and I don't know how I'd pick it up. And Jedi Knight 2 looks really good, but as FPSs go, it looks really good, especially as an FPS Star Wars game. But I haven't played it, don't know where it'd fall on the list. I'd probably, most likely out of all these, I guess I should put SWG as canceled, too. Except I've heard that people are still playing SWG somehow through emulators or private servers or whatever. So I know I'm sure some of you out there are still secretly playing SWG, and that's fine. More power to you. You should be able to do that. It's unfortunate. And with so many servers shutting off, even of console games, you can't even play a lot of console games multiplayer anymore. But at least you still have some of the games still functional. But yeah, so I'm sure all of you figured out what number 1 is. I don't know. Of course, it's SWTOR. Just for obvious reasons. I know it has a lot of issues, but I think it's important that we all stick by it and at least figure out what is going to go on with the guild ships and player housing. And if guild ships end up being just useless, terrible, and nobody uses them, I'll throw the first rock. Believe me, not really. I'm not going to throw rocks at anybody, but I'll be the first one to be severely upset about this, especially if player housing tanks too. What I've seen so far has not impressed me at all. But as long as they keep doing their best, I that's fine. I just wish their best was faster. Galactic Starfighter has plateaued. PvP has plateaued. The only thing really moving forward right now is these tactical flashpoints, which I love, but I don't want tactical flashpoints to plateau either. I hope they stick with that system, but they need every system firing on all 4 cylinders. They need war zones going full speed ahead. They need flashpoints going full speed ahead, and they need Galactic Starfighter going full speed ahead. And they need their guild ships and their player housing to be really legitimately good. Um, I think there's a really, especially with the delay. Thank goodness they delayed it. Otherwise, it would have been awful, and we would have been waiting months for it to even have any substance at all. But I'm not impressed with the trailers, but it looks good. It looks like it could be good, but I'm just not getting that warm, fuzzy feeling yet. I'm hoping with 2 more months of one to 2 more months of development, they can really pack in some depth, so we actually have something to do in those houses. So, but it still has to be my number one because it's carrying the torch right now. It's really the only Star Wars game we have right now, besides Battlefront 3, which I don't know when that's coming out. I mean, basically everything else it got canceled or is aging. Besides a couple mobile games. I'm sorry, but that's for a different video. But they need to step up. Disney bought this. They need to step up because right now it's BioWare holding the torch. And you can disagree with this number one, but if you like Star Wars, this is the only thing going for Star Wars right now in terms of video game adventures, not the mobile thing. It's good that they finally came out with Assault Team because they needed that, but this is what's going to be keeping the franchise going, especially since they shut down Clone Wars. They canceled the show right in the middle so they could do Rebels, which looks like it's going to be in Disney, just a Disney show that happens to have the Star Wars title. So they canceled Clone Wars, which means the Clone Wars game got canceled. That was helping carrying the torch. There was a lot of people still playing that game. And they shut down SWG before that. There was a lot of people still playing that game. So this is the only game left carrying the torch. So we all got to get behind it. Because if this gets canceled, there's not much left. There isn't going to be another Star Wars MMO after this one. And Clone Wars was an MMO. You could hook up with your friends and open world fight and gain XP and change your gear. And it was a little clunky, but it was really fun. So this is it. Anyway, a little bit long. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. And let me know down in the comments if you agree, disagree, if you switch the list around, if there's any ones I missed. I probably reviewed like 250 Star Wars games just to make sure that I got them all. There will be future lists. If you said, what about this game, that game, this game, that game? There's going to be other lists. Probably for a lot of the games that you mentioned. So I won't give too much away. Thanks for watching, and thank you for sitting through 1,000 videos, and I hope this video takes off and is popular, and I'll be doing more in the future. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.